There we go, right on the chin. I mean, that was a lot.
Naoya Inoue! Nonito Donaire! Instructions in the dressing room.
On your screen, it is an 8-time. In many ways, the man opposite him represents the younger WBA Super and IBS. Well, Donaire comes back with that famous left hook. Both men exchanging.
He's shown.
Hurt him in a contest. Cagey respects there. His right hand to the body. Signs for him that if he does overcommit, he will be tagged. And Trey Leather shown a brilliant she did over a decade ago. In yellow.
From Donaire. Try and force.
It's into his 30s. Stiff right hand lands that time.
Lively start. Good stuff from Inoue there.
Seeing WBO straps too. Stiff jab there from when they go. They really go.
The variation's brilliant. Head, body.
Feet back well with him. To take the stick. So about Donaire is the next one.
Good opening round there.
Applies to them both. They both did it in that first round. Donaire missed.
In front of Inoue. Big shots go. Credit to Donaire there. Favour the aggressive stand there. He's able to
4 years of his career as Inoue lands that left hook.
Delivered with real spite and snap. We see that
balance. As Donaire hurt, comes back with a 1.
Knows he carries the power.
The unification fight, so there was no
in there.
But he's walking through them so far. Catches Inoue.
Let's get him into that second half of the contest. Forward. Good variation of shot.
Which could land at any moment. Inoue.
What that does allow, sorry Chris, is Inoue went
Donaire, who was the trap setter.
It's just a lovely left hook there. We've seen so many knockouts, 16 KOs. A good
opening round and a half.
Starting to plant his feet a bit more.
Donaire naturally the bigger man, of course. Inoue, who's come up from the weight divisions. It's just the ones that Donaire
is trying to get this into the later rounds. It's so important he does.
Of consequence by way of being hurt.
He work an awful lot. This is good work, really.
Blood. He's cut Inoue with that left. You can see how bad the cut is.
Here we see.
That was the one that took him off balance. Here comes the left hook.
It doesn't ruin this contest. Trying to see, I did
from above the right eye too. Will try and get a shot of that scene in his career against the man. One which some of his previous opponents have in all.
It's just the experience of Donaire. You know, the 45 fights that he's had is invaluable.
Donaire, referee just warning.
Negative seeds in the mind of Inoue.
Flyweight all those years ago is where his body needed to be. Left hook to the body.
Feed off of the confidence that brings, but there's a worry.
Coming forwards, landing leather, he's ripped through opponents en route to the final. So far, Darren, he's back cut, just trying to shield it from.
For a second there, he's a 4-weight world champion. Inoue, like I say, try and push.
It's interesting to see Inoue just being answered by Nonito Donaire, really because of his power. He was matching his footwork, keeping him against the ropes.
From Donaire, really is, there's always that.
In a neck-and-neck encounter. Left hook just on the way out, but then he eats one. Cut as he stepped back in.
Give Donaire that. If you're an Inoue fan, the cut doesn't look like a bad one. The corner's done shots. It's just shown in these first 3 rounds too.
Difficult to.
I'm sure someone like Donaire. Good stuff. Good short left hook went in.
For a decade now as well. Lovely left hook. Right hand.
It's good work from Inoue. What he's doing is he's making Donaire
stage in the contest. Donaire walking forward in kind of pace he would have wanted to set to.
For the contest, not having to have done much. So his first 4 rounds have gone.
Landed a nice counter. In the twilight.
Making Inoue think all the time.
Notice he's got those hands high for the first minutes of each round.
Shot, it's razor sharp, full of power. See there,
Darren, as you said, was Donaire's plan.
With that game plan, Inoue dictating the pace. Good lateral movement there from Donaire.
But as you say, Inoue just in the ascendancy, that faints into range again. Round 4.
Couple of shots, counter right hand over a good round, you know, Inoue of Inoue. But this was the good, similar to Donaire. Inoue managed to take the sting out of it. You know, it's a lot with experienced fighters, they're able to.
Not many would have predicted that it would go that far.
There.
That staggered.
So, you know, the fact that Inoue, that's a good right hand, absolute animal, but here Donaire
Who left long-time trainer Robert Garsh to get him out of trouble. It did against Victor. One bit, and arguably
over the top of right hand comes Donaire.
Passed the test so far, but it's back with a left hook. Inoue sensing the moments to the bell as Inoue opens up.
Try and pick these counter shots, counter left hook.
His hand position was responsible.
Incredible. It really is, you know, a born puncher. He'll be happy, like I say, how this contest is going.
Becoming a little too over-reliant on Miragondo in the championship rounds. That punch.
There you go, see the jab there, beautiful, but over
checked on multiple occasions, both of the men in the final, and just as we say it, the right hand lands, and it staggers, steps on him now. How much of this is Donaire seeing coming? Took from Donaire, he's firing away, but he is hurt here. Best round for Naoya Inoue.
Big round for Inoue. And right, that really stunned. Stop for a second, but we see the concentration there. Oh, it was a left. Took it well, but that was a big round. And there we go, there's the right hand.
Responded.
Very shortly, looking to counter that.
Way, because perhaps we expected it from Pro Graham Taylor. Over a decade, his senior.
To lift that Muhammad Ali.
As the fight progresses, now just picking the old champion ground down as he walks into.
He still looks fairly comfortable, but Inoue, Donaire, spin that right hand over the top there as we see it.
Given the leather that he's taking, and 10 seconds Clapper to take encounter here in the 118-pound. Calisauland at the back of shot can be Inoue and Nonito Donaire.
Experience. Both carry extremely good power. 5.5 rounds.
And that is so versatile to right hand.
Here now. Cannot.
Remarkable that he still into the second half of the fight. No way to be. That will be staying with him a touch. Donaire with his hands low.
Yeah, I've got Inoue a couple up. Donaire, but a round that I think Inoue won in close quarters with Donaire. Big shot.
Regardless of the outcome, arrive in the post, but
regardless of the result, this will hold him in good stead.
Oh, lovely.
Very impressed with, you know, they understand splits.
Include that WBA. It's fair to say he's achieved everything. But Inoue now starts
planting his feet, really strong.
Seeing some of these shots coming, and feet are noticeably slower to adapt to the likes of Roberto Duran, Howie Holmes, even his legacy. That, of course, is already on their way up. It just takes one contest to remove that.
Moving forward. Very quick, it's very spiteful. Good work.
Super flyweight. Many people choose not to in his long career.
Yeah, the spiteful shots, Chris. Trying his best to back Donaire back.
He will see the patterns of movement. It's a case of be expected. It's about how the greats of boxing in the day, and it was those fundamentals that became...
Absolutely. But like I said, in the round, you know, he's an absolute warrior.
Kenny Adams is in the Edwin Valero, of course, until he passed, and at 70.
Increased the work rate now. He's very good with his footwork.
For a moment, the poker face is on, but he felt those
from Donaire.
Donaire lasering in with that right, tries to maintain that gap. Have exchanged right hand counter though from
Thinking, both letting their shots go.
And neither man. Inoue again with a minute on the clock. Why his reputation as a puncher is as it is. Uppercut.
A bit more now. His experience and class. They are indeed. Inoue back, try and get him onto the ropes. Space away from his opponent so well. That's a good right hand. I thought he was stunned for a second there, but he took it very well. Another good overhand right.
In the last half a minute. Just sensing a bit of a momentum shift in round 8.
It really is. It's brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Who'd have believed gone down? I don't know what the odds would have been on it. Wouldn't have got much though. Good job in the corner of managing it so far. Into pour, and is it going into the eye? Could that be a problem? Right,
target the chin.
Of round in the bank, we think, for Donaire, it could we go to the scorecard before this one is over.
Right hand counter, beautiful stuff. And it's these little short left. There's that jab. And honestly, any boxer out.
It's time to shine on the centre stage. Stiff right hand again.
Full leverage, full power in the right hand.
Beginning to swell a little bit. Check.
Oh!
Counter right hand from Nonito.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, there's a huge amount of...
But he knows that all eyes are on the old champion. Stiff. Gave him virtually no chance against at all. And just 20 miles.
It really is. Cannot take your eyes off it. Donaire, though, that it's not fully.
The left eye of Donaire. Punch lands, but it's almost a little bit disconcerting to see a man now just sensing a moment here. Set his shots up, jabs in. Inoue takes it.
Really showing all his experience,
man, and if you do so at your peril. He could take advantage of, perhaps he has dragged Naoya Inoue.
There we go, right on the chin. I mean, that was a lot. Yeah, without a doubt. You know, there's a huge amount of...
Into difficult circumstances. We know Inoue, but the elder statesman has been moved nicely to this.
I've got Inoue one up.
The left hand off the back of it from Donaire. Inoue rips to the body, head set, try to make those older legs work. Perhaps the one firing back, and arguably in the ascent.
One in front of you with ease, and you've probably got everybody telling you how good you are. You know, your own hype and self-doubt can't kick in, but this is good stuff from Inoue.
Inoue just picking and moving now.
Oh, good right hand.
Back for the first time in the round. As Donaire was all those years ago. And what reserves he does have left.
100% and definitely with Donaire. Again, Donaire stalking his man.
But for him to Naoya Inoue in there.
Well, yeah. Classing you as one of the best. Can kick in, you know, when you're in a contest like this.
The inside, Donaire goes a little flat-footed for the first time, looking for that exit to the left. And this is now Inoue's round.
Oh, and again!
But he hurt Donaire there, and Inoue starting to pick those shots. The bell
going. That was a great finish, like that one.
Well, let's have a look at it. It was the jab that.
So good for Inoue. Pretty sure it was a short right hand that come in. Good
potential to be, of course. There were had the kettle on over 20 minutes up here. He's dealing with it well, but was Donaire not taking his feet back with him.
Really is good stuff.
Donaire desperately trying to get back on that jab.
Listen to the home crowd now, really get behind him. That's a lovely left to the body. He really didn't want to go down there, Donaire, but that body, Chris.
Well, he's down for only up, and the referee says box on. Looking for one more big left to the body. Brilliantly over the last 11 rounds, but is this the end?
That body shot, Donaire.
38 seconds in Saitama. Knee, but he stays up. And this minute, you can switch the lights out at any stage, you really are, but we're still here, championship rounds. Right.
Oh!
Inoue will sense the shots landing cleanly.
Head, body, these right.
Southpaw momentarily. Can box Southpaw.
He's really hurt.
Tries to hang on. Inoue, the old champion, who's acquitted himself. It's the momentum in its tracks as we knew he came out of jail so many times in his career.
Fight. This really is what a...
As Inoue opens up again, sinks. Inoue paws forward, right hand lands, 10 seconds. That right hand into the body. Remarkable.
There was worthy.
Well, you talk about the great rounds in history of boxing.
And he did at some point.
A classic, and the respect between these two. Well, long left hook just gave. He's got 2 minutes to do so, but he comes forward again.
Hats off to the preparation.
He would have whipped himself into as good a shape. Condition was for Inoue. It's just this where age and youth, the will of Donaire. Boxing over the last nearly 2 decades as a professional.
Lots of questions, he really has. He's a great...
Given the legendary status of Donaire, audible encounter here in Saitama.
Donaire, hats off to both guys. So don't expect Donaire to let some big shots of his own go.
Anyway, pause for thought for a moment there.
Absolutely. They really are.
Conditioning experts too. His work rate has rarely dropped. Sharpness and strength comes into this, and if it is, what a servant he's been, a credit.
inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's a good finish.
And of course, the fans will want their hometown heroes. They will want him to finish on his feet.
Great contest. One of the best fights.
Well, they go toe-to-toe to the final bells. Inoue will believe he's done enough.
Was amazing. And for Donaire, you know, go and hold him in great stead.
Naoya, the master, Naoya Inoue.
There in front of Inoue. Here we see.
That was the one that took him off balance. Here comes the left hook.
If you're an Inoue fan, you know, the cut doesn't look like a bad one. The corner stumps are shown in these first 3 rounds of Inoue. But this was the good. You know, it's a lot with experienced fighters. They're able to take right. That really stunned. We took it well, but that was a big round. And there we go. There's the right hand in close quarters with Donaire. Right hand counter. Beautiful stuff. And it's these little short left. There we go, right on the chin. I mean, that was like that one.
Well, let's have a look at it. It was the jab that...
Pretty sure it was a short right hand that come in. Good jab.
Well, you talk about the great rounds in history of boxing. Applies to them both. They both did it in that first round. And missed. You can see how bad the cut is.
Hope it doesn't ruin this contest. Trying to see, I did shots. To Donaire. Inoue managed to take the sting out of it. Big round for Inoue. Stop for a second, but we see the concentration there. Oh, it was a left, but a round that I think Inoue won. Absolutely. But like I said, in the round, you know, he's an absolute warrior. There's that jab. Yeah, without a doubt. You know, there's a huge amount of... So good for Inoue. He really didn't want to go down there, Donaire, but that delay. And he did at some point in that... And honestly, any boxer far past the halfway stage, I had Inoue up 1.
Takuma Inoue fall short against Nonito Donaire.